I don't know who's in the room, but their name is fuck Matt Fitch, and their room is black. Who is that? Is that Matt
That's
Fitch? Could
me.
that be?
No, that's Sean.
Sean Chavez, my man. So this is the guy that was airing everything out on you were the leader, kind of getting the crusade going with Matt and all that. Are you able to talk about that at all, or is there something going on that prevents you from talking about it?
Or showing your
Yeah, so I
face.
can I can answer a few questions, but as far as naming anybody else, there's a lot of people that don't want to be
Are
they
you
don't
in
want to
Matt
be
Fitch's
discussed.
basement tied up right now? Are you
No,
safe?
no. Oh, I'm safe. He just
Okay.
Matt Fitch is
Okay.
lucky I don't live in the same state.
So
Okay.
so 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 my guy, let us know the beginning, what's going on, what happened, and how's it
All
going?
right. So from the beginning, like everybody else, I joined these sites. Um, you know, People are always asking questions. Who do they recommend for SEO websites? Busy, blah. After doing my due diligence and having a few discussions with a few people, Matt Fitch just happened to be the guy that I hired, and that was July of 2024. He agreed to do some things to my website. We agreed on price. He agreed to do SEO for me monthly. We agreed on the number. And for a while, I was getting reports, but the reports kind of looked, they didn't look accurate to me, but I've never seen reports like these before, so I'm not sure how exactly they should have looked. I kind of put more trust in him than, maybe I should have. But then again, a lot of these people on these forums, they praise, guys like, Matt Fitch and other guys that are, in the SEO and website business. And some of them are not even in the States. Some of them are, Canada and, all over the world. But they work with a lot of junk removal companies, in the States. So,
And
so long story short, a couple weeks ago, Jamie had made a, post saying, "Where's Matt Fitch?" And for like the past month, maybe 2 months, I've been wondering. I've been, shooting him messages, asking him if everything's okay, if there's any progress, and I've heard nothing. And then, like everybody else, just as soon as I made a post, I just get bombarded with messages with, countless other people that, I'm probably over 10K invested. There's people that are nearly 30K, 40K, 50K,
Hey,
and
what the
easily.
fuck?
Yeah, and they're showing me receipts. They're showing me screenshots of emails, sent back and forth. The last communication I had with that fucking douchebag is, he told me to, because I messaged his wife on Facebook, and I sent her a friend request, and I just said, I don't know if you know what your husband is doing, but there's a lot of people that are looking for him right now, and there's some questions that need to be answered. Um, and I didn't get no response. The next day, I will admit, the next day there was $950 refunded to my bank, but that was it. That was probably for the month of June, because that's when all this fucking shit blew up. So
then
that's my
what did,
story.
what
There's a
did the
bunch of
wife
people.
what did the wife say to you, man? Are they giving you
No,
any
she said
insight?
nothing. She said nothing at all. I'm not sure if she even read the message. The morning after that, I got a message from him saying, stop harassing him, don't harass his family. Um, and, what am I trying to extort him for? So this guy's like trying to play the fucking victim now. And, I don't know how that goes when you rob. Like, if I was like a lone wolf, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Somebody probably could call me out by now, but there is countless others. You know what I mean? If you see the posts that I make, people, some of them are scared to come out. They'll just say following. They won't really get into it, but I'm just the
Sean, let
type of
me ask
motherfucker.
you,
I
brother,
just
when you seen that video that he put out with the AI and all, what did you take from that?
The guy needs fucking help. You know, he needs
It
He's
help.
made
an
no
ass
sense.
whooping.
It just was like I took
It's
it as
just
like
like
he
I don't
just
even know
spit
what
in
the
her face, like laughing at us, kind of like.
yeah, kind of like the fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand if he knows how things work. You know what I mean? And just because you don't have a contract, set up, there's many, countless emails, text messages, and phone records, communication with me and many other people. So I don't understand if he knows how things work, but if he doesn't straighten out soon, there's gonna, this guy could probably lose everything that he has. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's in the middle of a divorce. I'm a very compassionate person. I'll show screenshots if I could. May I hit him up? Hey Matt, is everything good? Yeah, man, everything's good. The team's working on a few tasks. I'll fucking circle the boat with you on Monday. Monday came, never got any communication. Beginning of June, as soon as he took the payment, it was like June, maybe like 13th. I reached out to him again because I got no report for fucking May, and he already took the money for June. And again, yep, everything's cool. And then a few days later, that's when everything blew up on Facebook, and then people started messaging me. Some people are afraid to come out because they want to get everything, off his server before whatever they paid for. I have 43 pages on my site, and what I paid for, I'm supposed to have over 100. I'm supposed to have, over 50 backlinks or 100 backlinks. All the work that guy said he was doing, he did squat. They're all fake reports. I don't know.
Hey, at least you got reports. I never got reports.
Really?
I asked for a report. He said, look at your Google console. And I'm like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be looking for. That's why I pay you. So
yeah,
I did text him like I had told you guys I would. I said, what's going on with the drama, bro? His response was extortion and defamation. They're mad I won't engage, so they waste their energy spreading lies. I don't know if you guys know who Liver King is, but like it seems like he's doing the same thing Liver King's doing, where he's just being very cryptic and not avoiding the issue. So
not incriminating himself through.
Also, the problem that you're all going to have that used him is you guys can all get together and put a class action lawsuit against him, and you can spend all of this money, and he's going to go to the attorney and he's going to say, I'm going to file for bankruptcy, and everything that you have and you've given him will never be returned. You guys have wasted that money. It is gone. It is set on fire. It's never coming back. Take the turn and just move on. Don't dwell on it. You're never going to get anything out of him because the bankruptcy laws will just basically make it so that he can file bankruptcy, take everything you have. Now, if he did it criminally, you might be able to get him on RICO charges and some other stuff like that criminally, but you're not going to get any money out of him any other way because he doesn't have any money.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's a learning lesson for everyone in business, right? Because these are the types of risks that we all take, right, when entrusting people and helping them grow our business. And you have to do your research. And Matt was a good talker in the Facebook groups, and he got a couple of us, and here we are.
He was. It was like when not to mention them, but when Matt Vick and invited him over to the house, that kind of like sealed the deal for me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hire this dude. He's people that are well known in the game talk about him. They speak well about him. He was, attended, last year's expo. I think he was a speaker or whatever. And, he had a little conference of himself. What was it, in October, in Texas? That conference. I don't know. I'm not even sure who attended that. But yeah,
no one did.
Lesson learned. No one did. Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely lesson learned. But it's like it's more about like. I don't really give a shit about the money. I just never want this guy to be able to do anything in marketing again. I understand, he could file for bankruptcy and all that stuff, but I just never want him to be able to do anything in marketing again. Because there's a lot of guys, like even in my area, I'm in Massachusetts, and I know all you guys are in different states. I'm in Massachusetts, and there's 3 or 4 guys just in this state that have worked with him, that have reached out and hey, he got me for $5,000, he got me for $9,000, he got one kid for $2,500, never even did his website. So it's I don't know how you do this type of stuff and get away with it, but
damn,
where the fuck do these guys have money?
I don't trust nobody.
And this is
no, he definitely if he had money, at one point he clearly did have money. I'm not sure what the hell he did with that money.
I'm talking about the guys that pay him. Who's starting a junk recruitment with $20,000 to pay somebody? Like
that's crazy.
It makes no sense to me. But yet you don't want to pay the people that are doing it. You don't want to give the money to the guys that have done it. You want to give the guys who sold their company and don't do it anymore and are out of the game. I don't understand
it. Hold on. I want you guys to realize one thing.
They speak a good game. That's what I can say. They definitely speak a good game.
Sean, listen to me for a second, though. This is what you guys got to realize, man. You guys are getting fooled by middlemen. You know what I mean? All of you got to do your research out there, man. We have all these middlemen that know how much money's in junk removal, and they're just preying on everybody, and they're acting like they know this and they know that. But after me being in for 6 months, I'm realizing that a lot of it's just bullshit, and they're hiring other people, and they're throwing on their tax. So when you talk to Matt Fitch and everything, you know, you got to question this guy right there. And if this guy starts giving you answers, yo, I got to get back there, I got to speak with my team, that should put an antenna up in your head. Because anybody that knows anything, if you ask me anything with marijuana, anything with fitness, anything with any business I've ever did, I'm going to give you that answer so fucking thorough. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this guy's a fucking expert. If that guy has to go and talk with his team, that's a red flag right there, and that guy knows bullshit then. And that's what they're doing to everybody, man, because they know how much money is in here. And then another flag.
He's in my emails, man. He's in my emails. You know what I mean? Like every lead that comes through, he sees every train. Like, you know, it's
Sean,
like.
But this is even more simple.
Nuts,
this is common sense, guys. You got to hear this, guys. Guys, Russ just nailed it. If somebody is saying they made so much money in junk removal, bro, but they sold their business and they're just still here. So, yo, if you had a successful business that you were banking, would you sell that thing or would you keep that going and still run your other business?
Hey, guys, I just want to let you know I'm selling my business for $50K, whoever's ready to buy it.
I'm starting a course for $1,100. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a guru now, guys. I don't want to do junk removal. I decided I'm more of a guru.
Yeah, I'm selling magical carpets. You know what I'm saying? Trust me.
Charlie's a big fan. I see. I don't know who Charlie is, but he knows who we are.
Charlie's Ricardo. That's the tranny right? Ricardo. No, that's the other girl. The other, whatever that other bitch's name is.
Well, I think Sean may have got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Because you definitely went to the junk expo, or right?
Bro, and it's not just
all of
us, bro.
Everything was over Facebook. Like I had an interview with
So
listen, I had an interview with Ronnie Knuckles. I had an interview with Lewis. I had an interview.
But Sean,
Matt Fitch was the third guy I had an interview with. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, I don't mean to cut you off, but what I'm saying is that you said this guy went to the barbecue at Matt's house. So, you know what I mean? That kind of sold you right there. You kind of like, I got him. I hooked him. You know what I mean? Get the net. I got a big one right here. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to, everybody listening right now, you have to watch who you listen to. You have to watch this, you know what I mean? These guys are middlemaning, and you guys are just falling for the okie doke. That's why Mr. Yee is spending the money right now, trying these things out. Because if it doesn't work, it's going down. I'll tell you that right now.
I want to play devil's advocate too. I think we all need to take a step back and realize that we are all humans too. And Matt might really be going through some shit. And
it doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that at some point in time when we were endorsing him, maybe he was doing the right things, and he obviously got off the wrong path, whatever. We have to be careful.
I've had communication with this guy at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning. You know what I mean? Messaging me and giving me solid advice. We've set up there's what is it, like a furrow cat, little cat rescue cat center around here, and it's just a husband and a wife. The wife passed away, so he was giving me pointers. You know what I mean? So I think like a little blog on my Facebook. Even that blog brought me in, like a little bit of business. But as far like once I get on a job and I say, hey, how did you hear about me? Was it through my website? Was it through Google? Was it through Facebook? It's like more and more that I realize, because at some point you have to be accountable, right? And I'm definitely accountable. You know what I mean? But
I think Russ hit the nail on the head. Is we have to invest in people that have been doing it for a long time. You know what I mean? Like actually, people are really, abrasive against us because we're so new, and I'm starting to understand it more and more because it makes sense. Like so many people have got burned. Like I said earlier, in my Discord, someone already paid $5,000 for someone else's mentorship. And he said, I get more value from your free Discord than I did that mentorship. And that puts pressure on me because and that puts pressure on me because I need to make sure that the guys that I'm mentoring don't feel that way.
I now charge $10,000 an hour. If that's the case, I'm $10,000 an hour, and cash only or Bitcoin.
Right. So,
What
just,
the fuck?
you at the end of the day, we have to invest in people that have been in the business a long time, because they've obviously stuck around. Like, 5 years, 10 years, you don't get there by accident. So,
Denise, I just want to clarify things because we're all learning at the same time you are. We were kind of all drinking the Kool-Aid too. We're all, everybody's a guru. If you're a speaker at an expo, you just start, you fall in line. You think that's the person, and you're taught to go and find success and all. But all I'm saying is dig deeper yourself, because I am digging deeper and I am starting to hear the back channels, and you start really learning what's really going on and who's real and who's not. But until, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I wasn't even thinking that I have to look like this and be looking into everybody, because it's like you said, man, all these guys are working with them and you're hearing good things and all, until you hear the one bad thing, and then that one person comes out, and it happened to be Sean here, and he kind of let the rest of the community know, and then from that, now everybody's like, yo, he hasn't been answering me either. Now we realize there's a problem. So Denise, I don't want you to think, that we knew anything like, this guy is going to scheme or scam. There's a lot of people, and this is why we made this show, just for this.
A lot of people.
And I'm
Russ is going to say he knew.
So here's the thing, okay? When he started, he sold an 18-page packet for $4,500. And I watched people go out there and buy ink on paper from someone for $4,500. If you could fucking do this by reading a book, I'll write it and sell it to you for $1, because you can't. And that's the problem, is everybody looks at what someone tells you in paper because they say, oh, I sold my business. Prove it. Prove it to me. Show me the checks. Show me the fucking contract. Show me who bought it. Show me that you actually did that. Because I've been asked to be bought for $680,000 and I said no. So if I ever get sold, I can guarantee you I'm holding the fucking paper up and shouting it, look at what I did. But all of the guys, like I've said on many shows before, they have strong backs and not much intelligence. And they come in with big backs and they think they can do it. And they run through a cash flow cycle. They run through something like JT got fucked up on and didn't see coming. And then all of a sudden they start pointing the fingers at everybody else, and they never point the finger at themselves. And you cannot, if you are not intelligent, you're not intelligent. Don't think you can just start this and become a millionaire, because you cannot. I promise you, you cannot.
Also, I think a lot of people want to cut the line.
Oh yeah,
and
of course.
And go all the way to go instead of going all the way around the board. So therefore, we all started junk removal probably because we seen a video. And a lot of people just want to rush the game instead of learning the game. And it's so easy to say, okay, this guy's a mentor, this guy's a coach, this guy's this. Okay, I'll go to that class. But even though that course, that class might be very good for you, but sometimes you don't know how to listen to the rules. You don't play by the playbook, and you don't do what you're taught really. But I think that a lot of people, like what Russ said, you don't want to put your work in. You don't want to feel failure.
See, this is I'm right there at the beginning. So I'm that guy that you're talking about, bro. And
I know.
This is the problem that is there, bro, is when you have all these gurus out there that you're trained to go and learn who's doing it right. And they're all saying they did it very successfully. So you're listening to what they're saying. And then 10 of them are telling you to be successful, you have to do this, and this. So when all these people are saying this, you start getting clouded and you don't know what is real. Now you start getting paranoid because now you find a Matt Fitch in the cycle. Now you're like, oh my God, now I got to worry about this. Like these people might not even be legit what they were saying. I'm following everything they're saying. So that's where it gets so confusing. And then you're sitting there and your phone's not ringing for the day. And now you're saying to yourself, well, I guess these 10 guys are right, bro. They told me I need to do this. And this is why my business is not growing. Next thing you're shoveling money out there.
But here's the thing.
I second that.
Here's the thing is that, when I first started my business, my phone did not ring one time for 30 days. For 30 days, my phone did not ring one time. And I was like, babe, I walked away from my career. Was this the right move? I said, hell yeah. Let me go put some work in. Let me go introduce myself to more people. Let me go out there and show people who I am. Let me go park my vehicle over there. Let me listen to another video, but I'm just going to listen to it. I'm not going to buy this. I'm not going to buy that. I went to the Junk Expo. The only speaker I listened to was Kevin S. and Matt and Vic. I didn't even listen to the speakers. You were there, Paulie. I was outside, you know what I mean, doing my videos, you know what I mean, doing what I do. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't need to, because the recipe is out there for you guys. It's free on YouTube University. Do your homework, learn. But a lot of people don't have that patience. And when you don't have those patience, you're going to pay.
And they don't want to take responsibility either for their shortcomings. People don't want to take responsibility that they're not actually putting the effort required to learn the process, right? Like, if you're trying to throw paint at a wall and thinking something's going to stick, yeah, it'll stick, but you don't even know why it's stuck in the first place. Like, most people, all the answers are out there, but when you're new, you don't know what questions you're supposed to be asking. And then once you start figuring something out and you actually put the effort to learn it, then you kind of, okay, now I can expand into this. I can expand into that. That's the biggest thing is, like you guys said, people want a shortcut. There's no shortcutting the time frame of actually running a successful business. It is going to, like Alex Ramosi says, it's going to be harder and take longer than you ever will expect it to.
And that's why this show is so valuable to the junk removal business, the junk removal family out there, because we're helping you guys out. There's 6 different screens right here that you guys could email, message, and ask a question. And you're going to get that absolutely free.
Denise, you only trust Russ and JT? I'm taking offense to that. What about us over here?
Hey, let me question Denise. Are you Anne-Marie Fletcher? Because you said you were in Douglasville.
I know.
Guys, you can't
There's
trust
another.
me. Those guys are scammers.
Yeah. Well,
I think too many people think that, you hire a coach and a mentor, and it's the same thing with Google Ads guys. It's the same thing with the SEO guys. It's anybody that you hire. As soon as you give someone money, you expect something that is not reality if you do not put in the work. You can go and pay a Google guy $100,000 a year, and he could only get you 50 grand. And you point the finger at him, and he's going to tell you, well, guess what? You didn't answer 137 calls that came in today or this month. You didn't answer the calls. You didn't do the follow-ups. You didn't do this. Your minimum price is $200. You won't leave your house for less than $250. All of these things is the operator's fault. And as a coach or a mentor or as a Google Ads rep or whoever you're getting money from these people for, they point the finger at you. They'll never go in the mirror and go, you know what, dude, you fucked up. This is on you. It doesn't happen. And that's the biggest issue with coaching people. I'll walk away from people. I give them a very certain amount of time. And if you're not doing it, I'm not wasting my time. It is not worth my effort. I don't need the money. And it's more frustrating, as JT is going to find out, the more people that he gets into, they all do this and none of them want to do any of the work. It's like, okay,
Guys,
it's 10 o'clock at night. Go put out 100 signs tonight. I'm going to smoke some weed. I can do it.
Yeah.
Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you Facebook post? Did you Facebook group? Did you do anything consistently at all? And they're like, no. And then it's like, but it's my fault, right? I'm kicking ass and you not. So look in the mirror.
Yeah, and you'll have people, you'll have high performers doing well, and then people that aren't doing it, and they're like, well, I don't understand. I have a guy that legitimately signed up 2 weeks ago, and I've not heard from him once. And I keep trying to contact him. His money's just sitting in an account because I'm just ready for him to be like, hey, I want it back. And I'd be like, okay, bro, you take it, because you're not doing what you're supposed to. But
let me tell you this, JT. I was on the show a few weeks ago, and there was a kid in here who was 16 years old, Josiah. And I sat here with him, and I said, I will give you 5 free coaching sessions, no cost to you, to help you. This was, a month and a half ago, Paul? He called me that night and has never one time reached out again. So it's like, you're 16 years old, and a guy who's in the top 5% of junk removal companies is trying to help you, and you're not even taking him up on the offer to do it for free. So, and he's 16, which you would understand. 16, young, dumb, doesn't know, he's got a girlfriend, he's going to go get,
There's no excuse.
Whatever.
There's no excuse.
Right, but now you look at, and I work with people who are 25 to 55, and they do the same fucking thing. So it's like, if you were going to pay to go to college, if your kid got to pay $50,000 to go to college, you'll spend that money to go to college and have him learn something. but you won't spend it on yourself, not even a tenth of it, to learn how to run a successful junk removal company because you think it's not worth it. But you'll send them off to college for 200 grand to learn something that they can't even make a fifth of what you're making in this business. And then you don't even want to pay the guys that know how to get there because you know it all. So it's like, fuck, I don't. Good luck. Have fun.
I will
I
say,
think- Go ahead, my brother.
I was just going to say, I also think it's funny the people that talk down about the coaches too, because at least for me personally, I don't think Russ feels this way, but I'm taking on the stress of someone else's business because I want to put results on the table for you. And I know that I can only give them the systems to do that. It's still on them to enact that. So I'm over here not only stressing about growing my business and getting to places like where Russ is at, because that's where I want to be, but also trying to get these guys doing 10, 12, 15, 20 a month. And that's stressful. So
I had someone reach out to me that had a car with a broken transmission and he wanted to do good. And I respect the guy. And I told him, I was like, dude, I respect your hustle. Get equipment and I'll be working with you. But it's not, I think there's real unrealistic expectations that people have on coaches. Like you're driving a Subaru in a 5x8 wagon with a rotted out floor, and you think I'm going to get you to 20 grand. You got to be able to tow something that will make you 20 grand before I can even do anything with you. And the expectations is that a lot of people, see videos like JT's and others where I made $1,200 in a day, and they look around and they're like, "Oh, honey, look, I'm going to go take out old Betty with the rusted back end, and I'm going to go do it." And they can't, and they're like, "It ain't working. I don't understand what happened. I put 3,000 pounds in the back. The rear end fell out. This is a scam." It's like,
and it's our fault. So I am part of the problem, though. So I will. I hear you.
Well, here's the thing, guys.
Go ahead.
The thing is execution. Execution is all important. I had a lot of guys that take my training, and the funny thing is, when I put my training out there, I did it for the new guy. Right? I did it for the guys just learning and everything else. But the guys that ended up really, really doing well at it is the guys that are already doing 7 figures. They're the guys that are still hungry to grow. A couple of weeks ago, Russ was on here and he started naming these big 7-figure names out there. Most of those guys took my training. You were just talking about Andrew Barton. He took my training. He said, "You're not charging enough." I'm not charging a lot because I did it for the little guy, but the James Corey's, the Andrew Barton's, the Abel, he used to be a corporate trainer. He told me my shit is amazing, and he was a corporate trainer. And he's like, "You're not charging enough," and he uses my training to train his team. But the thing is, Taylor Chastain.
Kevin, I got to say this. I was just talking with Abel today, and he was telling me, he's like, "Yo, you got to go buy Kevin's train." I was like, "I already have it, man." I was like, "I'm on it and all." And Abel sending me over his stuff that goes along with your training because he trains all his guys with your stuff.
Yeah, he sent me a video of his guys sitting there taking notes and writing down, taking my training video. And a lot of the guys, the guys that execute are the ones that are still hungry. They can be doing 7 figures, but they're still continuously learning. They're still trying to obtain knowledge. They're trying to gather information, and they're still learning, because they've even though they've gotten to that 7 figures, they've learned that they had to put their ego aside to get there. Russ is doing as well as he is because he put his ego aside. He knows he's still learning. Maybe, I don't know.
I won't go that far, but
But the guys that are really doing well are the ones that put their egos away and want to learn more. Like I said, I started this for the little guy, but it's the guys that are the 7-figure guys that are really, executing on it. Taylor Chastain, he fucking is killing it out there because his team, I went and did a personal training with him. His team, I went in person, and his team turned that into their culture. I told them, I said, "You take this training, you pick and choose what you want, that works. You keep doing what you're doing well already." But they took my training 100% and made it part of their fucking culture. And a lot of the people that are doing this, even, James Corey, he does amazing. He calls me all the time, he puts his training into effect. There's a lot of guys out there that are doing it, but I have guys that have taken it as well that do absolutely nothing with it. And like I said, Exactly. It's about execution. It's about the people that are really hungry are the ones that are going to execute on it and listen to it.
But-
You know,